Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 164 of The Lands of Aecathan. How did we get that far? Yeah. As always, no professionals, no fancy tech, just a group of women playing an all-original game of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Jeff, your Game Master, and here's what happened last time. The battle for the Jogrvanans over the Blue Dragon's horde was in full swing when we started the last episode. Using their vile Krilandril sticks, the horde raiders were turning out to be a rather grave threat to the four. Choosing a tactical retreat, Zorith cast teleport and took everyone back outside to the top of the bluff overlooking the entrance to the dragon's cavern. And after a quick planning session, Zorith teleported the group back to the entrance to the Horde Cave and tried a new spell for the first time, Meteor Swarm. After a blinding flash of lightning and a thunderous impact, when the smoke cleared, all the Jogrvanans were quite dead. The battle was won. After healing the wounded, the four set about collecting the horde that was rightfully theirs as they killed the dragon. They then returned to Tasha's mansion, which had originally been cast at the site of the battle with the dragon, and settled in to recuperate and plan their next move. And that is where we pick up tonight. So, long rest. In case you haven't done that already, long rest.
Oh, right.
And we pick up the following morning.
Where it's sunny, like it is right now. Like sunshiny.
Is it really sunny up there now?
Oh, yeah. The rain is still pouring off the ceiling, or the roof, but it's sunshiny.
Wow.
Craziness!
We're having severe weather here, so if there's an interruption in the episode, it's because the power went out.
Right.
We had rain earlier, but it is sunny now here, too.
Nice.
Yep. So, the following morning. You all arise when you arise, and I'm sure head down to breakfast.
Yes, we do.
Indeed.
A little slow this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Getting up, doing a thing.
I'm doing some stretching as I took quite a bit of damage yesterday. A little sore.
I too am stretching.
Sort of eating cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty impressive. I had no idea you knew that spell.
Oh, yeah. I have some things. That's probably my big one. Yeah. That's my big one.
Impressive.
And, I was able to conserve some energy. Well, yeah, I rearranged how I was thinking of things, and I was able to pull that one out of the bank, basically. So, yeah.
Nice. Has anybody seen Arabelle?
Oh, I'm sure she's down there. She's usually up early.
So what's on the schedule for today?
We keep going, I guess. According to Game Master, according to the way we had been headed, the direction we had been headed, are we that far off our main heading?
Well, as your main heading was a general idea direction, no.
Mm. Okay. But we do know. Wait, I can't remember. Did we fly over them? Or did we just show up and they were here?
Once you located the dragon's lair, they were already in there.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder how they knew.
Yeah,
That's a good question, yeah.
Because they would have had to wait for the dragon to leave. And then
They
not
might have-
knowing, yeah.
They might not have known the dragon was there until they saw him leave.
Mm.
And they just happened to be there.
That seems like a really big coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Or they knew a dragon was in the area and just wasn't sure where exactly.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They're dead now.
They are dead now.
Don't really matter now, yeah.
But I think that's a good question because perhaps there will be more. If we knew how they were getting their information, that might be beneficial to us. Maybe they know what we're doing as well.
Yeah.
You think they're like scrying on us?
They might be just keeping this area under surveillance. I don't know how else they would be able to know the dragon's comings and goings so closely.
Well, hopefully that means we're headed in the right direction. Because it sounds like they keep scouting parties and things out, so.
Oh, okay, it could just be a scouting party.
So I can summon Starbolt again.
Okay.
And then we had what? Zori and Gwen on him and Tasha and I on the carpet, right?
This time,
Yeah.
let's not so far away
Also,
from each other.
it has now been 2 days, so Gwen can summon her owl again.
Oh, okay.
So I can do that?
Cool. Because the owl goes a little faster than the carpet.
Right.
So we'll do the owl instead. Okay.
Yeah, maybe like half a mile instead of a full mile.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, when you're ready, when you finish your breakfast, let's get going.
Didn't we go at night?
Oh. Yes.
What time of the day is it?
You've got a couple hours until sunset.
Okay.
Well, I said breakfast because that's
What
we
would
just
be
woke up.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter what time of day.
That's right.
Breakfast every meal. Screw
I just
that.
wasn't sure what time of day it was.
There's never a bad time for cinnamon rolls.
No.
No.
Never.
French toasted cinnamon rolls.
So you still have the dragon's tail hanging and draining in the stable.
Probably deal with that.
Didn't we ask the birds to do something with it?
Pick the scales off, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's a nice little pile of dragon scales sitting
Okay.
off to the side, but the tail is still hanging and it's still leaking.
So the
But-
question is, do we want to keep the bones?
Did they get all the scales off?
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll have to
So-
give me
We're all
estimate,
like,
a guesstimate of what that
ew.
is later.
Yeah.
Well, then I take the tail outside.
Okay.
We should
And
bury it
Yeah.
Yeah.
well.
What did you say
I-
blight would do to it?
It would dry it out.
Okay. Do I have blight?
I have
You have blight.
Blight's my favorite.
Okay, so then why don't you blight it first, and then I'll take it outside.
We'll cast blight on the tail.
Okay. And it shrivels up.
So it wouldn't be all gross and nasty.
Nope, now it looks like tail jerky.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Hopefully it's less recognizable now.
It still looks like a tail. It's just
Right.
less clear a tail from what.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
theoretically, no. I was gonna say we should have. How far down are you gonna bury it?
10 feet.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. And how are you going to dig the hole? You're just going to scoop out with your hands and...
No, God.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. Depending on how deep you want it, how much energy or what's your spell cost on your Lesley dirt monster? Nope.
Earth
Stone
elemental.
elemental.
Earth-
Yeah.
Okay. I can cast that. Let's see. At spells. I mean, that's one of my big spells.
Oh, is it one of the big ones?
well,
Then don't
I can-
worry about it.
I have it's a 4th or 5th level spell, so I could cast it at 4th level.
Right. My blight is a 4th level spell. So
Okay. Well, then I will do it. I will summon an earth elemental and ask if he's doing the digging. I'm going to say dig a hole 20 feet deep.
Can he
and-
just pull it down with him, Jeff?
Oh, that's
He
true. You
could.
wouldn't even have to. Okay, then I'd say pull it down 50 feet and leave it there.
Okay.
There you go.
You cast the spell, and this time, when the earth elemental forms, it looks like it's made of wet, packed sand.
Cool.
But it's still...
Is there water nearby? Where is there water?
And
Point.
it points down.
Mm-hmm.
How far? Can it tell me anything that would indicate how far? I mean, because if I can tell it how many feet to bury it, it must have some idea of distance.
Does anyone speak Terran?
I don't think so.
I'm
Common,
attuned to my
Draconic,
one.
Elvish, Infernal.
Does anybody have a comprehend languages type of thing?
Nope.
I can only do fire elemental if my ring is on.
So how
Ingen-
does she talk to it
Ingen?
normally?
Well, it understands her because of the spell,
Oh.
but it only speaks Terran, so it growls out something that sounds like, sand
Black.
being scraped off sand.
Gross.
Okay, then I tell it to take the dragon tail down and stop 10 feet before the water begins.
And it reaches down with a big hand and picks up the tail and then just sinks into the sand. And it takes about 30 seconds before it reappears empty-handed.
And is the dragon also buried
Yeah.
nearby?
Yeah.
Okay, then I tell it to do the same thing with the dragon carcass. Drag it down deeper.
And it nods and shuffles over to where the dragon is buried and sinks into the sand. And you see on the surface some disturbance under the surface. It goes on for quite a while.
I imagine it's hard to pull a dragon carcass through sand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want it found.
This takes much longer.
Okay.
Close to 20 minutes later, it comes back up.
Do we have anything else we need it to do? Okay. Then we are going to leave. When we do, please wipe the surface clear of any trace that we were here. Okay. Are we ready to go?
Before we do that, it would have been probably earlier. We have this stuff from the horde, right? Some of it probably needs to be attuned. So we need to figure out who had what.
If anybody's switching for something, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember everything we got. I feel like there was a belt I want.
Oh yes, the hill giant strength.
Is that Hill?
I think so.
Nobody can hear me. The dagger of warning, and instead of she wanted to unattune her DOS lute for the dagger of warning.
Yep. So I unattune my DOS lute and I attune my dagger of warning.
Okay. So you could be doing that while the elemental was moving dragon parts.
Okay.
And then what was the it was a metal vial for the cloud giant, but something for the hill giant?
There was
belt.
a belt.
It was a belt.
Yeah.
Strength 21.
Is it Hill Giant?
Hill giant strength. Is that going to you?
It's okay.
I can't wear it.
Actually, you could wear it. Anybody could wear it.
Oh, I don't need it. Goes to Arabelle. Woot. The wands, the binding wand, is that a...
Wands don't need to be attuned.
Yeah. So I am going to notate that I want a bandolier next time we go someplace that's got them for my wands.
Okay.
Like their stupid calandro sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can just pull it if you need it. It's there constantly.
Right.
And then, let's see, we got a free action ring. Chainmail shirt. Oh, armor of lightning resist. Tell me what the anti-magic field does.
It creates an area where no magic functions.
Around you in a circle-y thing?
I think so.
Wow.
We've
Well,
had that
that's
used
what-
against us.
That's what Master Ixar was using
Right.
to examine Zorth's tattoo.
And a scroll is also a not needed to be
Right. It's a one-shot magic item.
Instantly red. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 10-foot radius sphere surrounding you. But the sphere moves with you. So it's always centered on you wherever you happen to be. And it lasts for an hour. All right, so things are attuned.
So it gives me +3 to hit and to damage. It's probably worth it.
Yeah?
The attunements. I take my ring off. Well, I leave my ring on, I just don't have it attuned.
Okay.
What do I have attuned then? My amulet and my sword. I need to do something about my dex and my intelligence.
Okay.
You're muted, Nick.
My strength is a +1, so I am at 12, but again, I don't think the belt's gonna help me. Like, what would strength do for me?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't use melee usually.
Yeah, and then what's wisdom? Like, what kind of wisdomy things?
Wisdom saves we make quite a bit. And then wisdom's cleric spells usually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Animal handling, insight, perception.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
perception is
skills.
Medicine,
+7.
survival. Yeah.
Animals. But yeah, interesting.
So, Tasha, just so you remember, that dagger, as long as you have it on your person, you have advantage on all initiative rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition, you and any of your companions within 30 feet can't be surprised unless you are incapacitated.
That's nice.
I would say she couldn't be surprised if she was incapacitated. I've passed out drunk. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm unconscious. I'm surprised.
I don't really drink that much. So the weapon.
I think she's referring to something that happened on our trip.
That's entirely different.
Oh, okay.
That just makes it a party.
I was surprised.
Oh, I see.
All right.
I wasn't, but now that you mention it.
Anyhow.
All right, so we're tuned. I cast Find Greater Steed after the stinky dragon tail is taken care of because Starbolt was not a fan.
Starbolt appears, and in your mind you immediately hear, "Oh good, more desert." Haven't you gotten tired of this yet, mistress?
I have, but we haven't found our quarry yet.
Very well.
And until we find those responsible for the death of the former hand, this is where we'll be.
As you say.
At least you're magical and you don't really take the effects of the heat in the desert.
This is true, but the glare is painful.
Sunglasses for a magical steed. I bet that would be interesting.
Just trying to think of a way to diffuse.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like that, I don't think.
Probably not now.
You could cast darkness on his head.
I don't think that would be good.
No.
Hello, darkness. Sorry.
I'm here to cast that spell again.
Has the sun gone down?
Yes.
So he doesn't have to worry about the dark.
Yeah,
the
how
dark
much glare can they be? We fly at night. We fly at dawn. At dusk.
Fly, you fools, fly! All right. So, remind me again who's on who?
I'm on first.
Excellent.
I'm on second.
Gwen and Zori are on Starbolts.
Okay.
Arabelle and Tasha are on the rug a little bit.
No,
back.
the owl.
The owls. Yes, sorry.
Yep. Okay. All right. The moon is a little bit brighter tonight. It's slowly each night moving toward being full in, a week and a half or so.
I walk over to Starbolt and hand Gwen my shield.
Thank you.
I'll give you advantage on your perception checks.
Much appreciated.
It does not need to be attuned.
Even better.
Okay. As soon as you lift off the ground, the elemental immediately begins, it almost looks like it's gliding back and forth through where you've been, erasing any trace that you had been there.
That's
Excellent.
Okay, so how far ahead is Starbolt from the owl?
Half a mile.
Half a mile.
Third half, yeah.
How long would it take them to get there at a half a mile?
What's the movement rate for the owl?
Giant owl.
Let me see.
Giant owl flies at 60.
And Starbolt moves at 90?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. I need to calculate this. So probably $15 rounds.
Which is what, a minute and a half?
Yeah.
So,
That still seems like a lot.
yeah, 15 rounds is a long time. I mean, it's not time-wise, but it is in initiative. So maybe a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then if something happened, the owl could go all out, right? Double move.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that would be better, because that would put us there in just a couple or 3-4 rounds.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So, Gwen and Zorith, I need your first perception checks.
Not the best, but 18.
You said it was how much to perception?
Oh, wait.
You get advantage.
Oh, okay.
If 18.
Well, I
So
think it's only
that's-
the person holding the shield, right?
Yeah, I gave it to Gwen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
regardless.
It's 27.
Okay. For the first couple hours, nothing. It is quiet, desolate, and rather boring.
Boring.
As you move on into the later part of the evening, Gwen, you, at the edge of your vision, catch just a flash of crimson
Uh-oh.
in the sky,
Mm.
like glinting, like moonlight glinting off something crimson.
I pull up Starbolt to a stop and tell Zori in a undertone, I see something there. Do you see it?
Now that she's pointed it out, I'm gonna roll. See if I can see what she's talking about. 22?
Yes,
Mm.
it takes a minute. You're kind of looking in the general direction, and then you see it again. Just
And you said the moon is near full?
no, it's probably like a good full crescent, like halfway between not there at all and a half moon.
So
Okay.
it's not necessarily bright. It's kind of...
Yeah, I mean it's shedding some light. I mean enough that there are like shadows on the
Okay.
ground.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell Starbolt to drop down to within 10 feet of the ground.
Mhm. And then
Not
to tell...
touching, but
And then to tell Arabelle what we see.
And he
Yeah.
slowly begins to circle his
Question.
way down to the ground. Yep.
When someone saw the big... Not chimera. It's the thing that I can no longer remember. In the desert.
The rock.
The rock. That's what it is.
ROC.
Who was that? And what do they look like?
It was either Gwen or Arabelle, I think.
Where the heck did my pen just go? Oh, I can't have gone too far. So if it was Gwen, does she remember what it looked like? Like,
Gwen, make a history check.
I'll ask her. Does this look like that big? Is it
dirty
the same color?
20.
Sorry.
No, it
dirty 20.
It the what Zorath is asking you about, that looked like a big bird.
Right.
This was just a glint of red in the sky. So not
In the
even
sky.
yeah, not even a shape.
So like
Just
maybe a
glint
dragon.
of red.
Okay.
It's too far away.
I ask Zori, do you have your spyglass?
Oh, hey, I sure do. I pull out my spyglass. That makes sense.
All right.
I'm glad other people remember it. I sure don't.
Which is surprising, given what a good memory you have.
You can put it in your bandolier when you get your...
Yeah, right. That is freaking hilarious.
All right.
My therapist tells me that all the time too, so I can work on it to manifest a better memory. So that's why she said it like that.
Gwenlaryn, if you would give me another perception check, please.
And I still have advantage, right?
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that one's better. That is a 29.
Mm.
Yes.
It takes a little bit, but you manage to catch another glint of crimson in the sky and focus right on that.
Okay.
It looks like it may be a dragon.
Okay.
You're not entirely sure if it's the spyglass or if it's just a really big dragon.
Okay, with that in mind, I'm going to tell Starbolt to tell Arabelle we think it is a perhaps large red dragon. We're headed to you.
How many dragons are in this damn desert anyway?
At least
Don't know.
2.
Yeah.
It's an evil place. Maybe it's like catnip to them.
Well, at least 3. Because Gagel lives in the desert.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
And not
she
this
lives
part
down
of the
this way.
desert.
No, she lives down this way.
You don't know where her lair is. You just know it's out in the desert somewhere.
You haven't been
Right.
there?
Nope.
Okay.
We'll have to know where it is eventually because we're going to want to give a baby shower.
A baby shower.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
I mean, hello. That's what you do.
What are 4
Is that what
medium-sized
dragons
creatures?
do?
What are 4 medium-sized creatures going to get a draconic baby?
A small horde.
Yeah.
What else would a draconic baby want?
Right. You bring gifts for the horde.
An entirely huge onesie.
I'm pretty sure we're going to ask Mother Tassa. Pretty sure.
I think a small pile of gold is a good way to get started.
Yep. Asking Mother Tassa.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Hilarious.
I'll bake a really big cake.
Mm-hmm.
Do dragons
Something
like
for the
cake?
mom.
Always
little,
something
you
for the
know.
mom.
Yeah.
A little spa treatment for
Yeah,
after.
that's exactly it.
Scale
Fuzzy
massage.
slippers.
What? I
Scale
heard scale
massage.
massage. What
Oh.
was the other thing?
Fuzzy slippers.
Fuzzy slippers.
Wow. I mean,
Start knitting a
technically-
baby blanket.
Right? Huge. Gotta be huge.
A chainmail baby blanket.
I was thinking one that looks kind of like the scales. You know where they do that?
Oh.
Those are nice.
We have a bunch of dragon scales. Just saying.
I'm not necessarily sure we want to give dragon scales to a, but it would be the bad guy dragon scales. So I don't know.
So a red
Oh,
dragon.
we could make them a rattle.
But we digress.
No, we don't. This is important.
This is really important.
Is it?
Super important.
hmm
Well, until they get here, yeah.
Well, it takes about a minute
Got it.
before you see Starbolt close to the ground, but just sort of hovering in place.
So did we come to them, or you guys came back?
I said we were going to come back to
Yeah.
them.
So we probably met part way or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Starbolt is only flying about 10 feet off the ground at the moment. So you kind of have to guide the owl down.
So red dragon.
Is the red dragon headed in this direction?
It was flying perpendicular. Like it was going...
Okay. Past us.
Well, it was going kind of across the direction you were headed.
But it had not yet crossed the path we were going to take.
It was headed that direction the last time you looked.
Okay. So I give them all of those details and point in the direction where I last saw it and where I expected it would cross.
It's not dark yet, or is it dark now? 'Cause
Oh,
been
it's
a
dark
couple
now.
hours.
It's about
Okay.
it's about 10 o'clock.
Do you want to continue and see if we can investigate, or do you want to avoid?
How far out does don't you have is it your
Yes.
primeval awareness?
Yes, I will use primeval awareness.
And the range on that It's a number
like
of miles,
6 miles,
isn't it?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 miles in familiar terrain, which the desert would be.
That is your
Sure
first
would.
familiar terrain, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does my dagger say? Oh, it has to be 30 feet, right?
It has to be 30 feet.
Eh,
So no.
Okay.
And then the spyglass, I believe, is, let me tell you,
It halves the distance.
right?
It makes things twice as big as they would normally be.
Oh,
I
so it
looked it
doesn't
up.
give like a, yeah, so it doesn't give like a,
No.
that's weird.
It says, and I quote, objects
I
viewed
know.
through a spyglass are magnified to twice their size. That's it. That's all it says.
That's really weird. It doesn't give like a
No.
depth or anything.
Right?
Well, then I don't necessarily know if the dragon is that big, or, I mean, if it's twice the size, then
Well, but I should be able to judge based on the size of other things that I can see. So if I can see a dune and then I can see the dune through the spyglass, then I can judge size relatively.
It's hard to know at this distance, A, if you're actually seeing a dune that's that far out, and B, how big the dune is, to be able to judge as a reference.
No, but if you can see the dune with your naked eye, and then you can see the same dune through the glass, you should have some idea of scale.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't see the dune, or really the dragon, with the naked eye.
Okay.
So, you cast Primeval Awareness. You get the normal, undead here and there. But you also sense in different places half a dozen dragons.
Within 6 miles, there are half a dozen dragons.
Yeah.
We should probably tell Mother Tassa.
Are they all together, or
No,
are they...
None of them are together. You got 6 separate individual pings.
does she know how big they are? With
No.
her primeval awareness?
No, she doesn't even necessarily know where they are, just that they're within that 6-mile range.
Mm.
She basically gets, here's the number of these creatures within this range.
I really don't like that. I mean, I really don't like that.
Now we know
Yeah.
why nobody comes back from scouting down here.
No kidding.
And why they're out looking for hordes all the time.
Things to eat, because it's slim pickings if there are so many of them, and
Lots of competition.
yeah. So now, remind me, Game Master,
Yes.
copper wouldn't look red, correct?
No, copper would look reddish gold.
Okay, I thought so. So, like, if it's red, it's going to be a red dragon.
Yeah, the flash was crimson, like a
Okay.
deep red.
I don't know what that means in the world of dragons. Like a red one?
There's no denying that it's a red dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, we did just take on another dragon, so I guess we should just be aware.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that if we run into one, it may call for reinforcements if it thinks that we're an actual threat.
Do they work together like that?
I don't know.
Make a nature check, Soreth.
16,
Well, she asked the question, so I could also make one, right?
Mhm.
18. I got 18, 16, and 2. My nature's not high, but
I got 19.
Well, I mean, we've seen different colors attack Erma at the same time.
Yeah.
And they joined together way back in the Orc Dragon War, right?
Well, they all fought in the war. But usually, well, actually, Arabelle, make a history check.
+7, 22.
If you recall correctly, and you're pretty sure you do, the attacks when the dragons and the orcs originally attacked where Fort Grimspine is now, that's where they made landfall, there were different groups that attacked, but the dragons in those groups were all the same colors. So it was a group of blacks and a bunch of orcs, or a group of blues and a bunch of orcs.
But most recently, when they like were strafing Erma, it was multiple colors, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
And Gwen and Zorith, you're not 100% on this because this is a little obscure, but most of what you remember hearing is that it's the metallics that tend to cooperate with one another. The chromatics tend to be very jealous of each other.
Right.
And distrustful.
They are looking for each other's hordes.
Yes.
Would they kill another?
If they thought they could get away with it.
Distrust. Woo! The full. Might kill if we get away with it. For me, sorry, unfortunately, my brain, how it processes, I did take my drugs today. Size of dragon we fought. My house? Your house? Smaller than our house? My house lengthwise?
You mean like the one we just
Your
killed?
house height? Yeah.
Bigger than either of our houses.
Oh. Okay.
And we don't know how big the red one is, but
Right.
it's probably pretty big.
You also know that the reds tend to be the largest of the chromatics.
Right. How big is Mother Tassa when she's big?
She's
medium, isn't she?
She's
No.
almost as big as an ancient red would be. The reds are the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
The golds are close in size.
Like one of our houses?
No.
Okay.
Trying to think. About the size of the football stadium at the university.
Holy crap.
How do they fit into the towns and stuff? Like, do they make themselves a little bit smaller? Because I mean, like, there were a whole bunch of dragons in Thunder's. Okay.
Yeah, and they were strafing overhead.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's why there had to be such a wide area cleared for Mother Tassa when she came for the announcement.
That's right.
Because she's about the size of the Lord's Keep.
Okay, I guess I forget that.
Yeah, ancients are freaking huge.
Ginormous.
Okay, well, write all that information is written down now. Crazy.
Yep.
What do we want to do? We want to...
I think we should stick together.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I will keep primeval awareness up. Well, I guess that's not going to tell me anymore, is it?
It will tell you if the numbers change.
Right.
It won't tell her if it gets closer. That's what I was going to look up.
Yeah, I can cast locate creature, and that'll tell if it gets within 1,000 feet. I think it gives us an hour.
I think we should stay low so as to cast smaller shadows and stay together. And then, of course, I can cast Pass Without Trace if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
nope. I was wrong. Sorry. It just tells you that there are dragons. It doesn't tell you how many or their location.
But she'd
Okay.
sense plural.
Yes.
Then I will cast locate creature, and I will just say it says name a creature that's familiar. So I'm can locate a specific creature known to you or the nearest creature of a specific kind, such as a human or unicorn. So I'm just going to do dragon, not a specific kind of dragon. So
Okay.
and that lasts for an hour with concentration. Do I sense anything now?
No.
so I'm casting Pass Without Trace. Let's see. That will cover... Where is it? It says for each creature within 30 feet has a plus 10 bonus to dex checks and can't be tracked except by magical means.
Okay.
So we just have to keep the entire party within 30 feet.
Okay. 30 feet's a decent range. That's 3 stories. Because a room is usually about 10 feet. I have to visualize it like that, otherwise I can't get my feet in half miles and all those things.
Right. Okay, so we just stay close.
Proud class.
And then Pam's thing is up for how long?
An hour.
An hour. Okay.
I could cast it more than once if I need to. It's just a big spell, but for me.
It's a big spell for you?
It's 4th level, but I have another 4th level spot and a 5th, so I could cast it again.
Yeah,
And
let's try
Pass
not
Without
to.
Trace also lasts up to an hour. So we'll need to re-up.
reassess. Yeah, reassess in an hour.
So we keep going.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you are now traveling at the owl's rate of speed.
Okay, what is the owl? Sorry.
60?
60.
Yep.
Because I have dragon in me,
Yes.
do I ever feel dragony components around me?
No.
That's shitty. That's dumb. You would think.
If real dragons can't do it, why would a draconic
can't?
sorcerer be able to do it?
I am
know.
super special. Didn't
Maybe
you
they
know
can.
I'm the only one of my kind. Okay, that is like the most I will ever say that, because that's not how Zorith feels, but crazy.
I figure dragons could sense each other.
Yeah.
Not according to what I've read.
Yeah, I guess that would be true, because otherwise they would be actively seeking out each other and storming their hordes and taking over one another's hordes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. So you are you're staying low to the ground?
Well, we were flying about 10 feet above. I want it to be high enough that Starbolt's wings aren't causing any ripples or changes to the sand,
Okay.
but otherwise low.
Okay. So that's probably going to be between 25 and 30 feet.
Okay.
But also, we don't want to die if we fall.
After traveling for about half an hour, Arabelle, you suddenly become aware of a dragon.
There's one nearby.
It's at the extreme edge of your detection range, and it's straight in front of you and maybe just off a little bit to the left. And so what do?
Is it moving?
It's hard to tell when you're also moving.
Okay. Is it getting closer, I guess?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
It's almost like it's moving across the direction you're going again.
Okay.
And then it disappears.
So it must have got out of range.
So if you become aware of another one, telepathically tell Starbolt to stop.
Okay.
And then you stop. And we'll all stop.
So you can
Without
get a
having
better-
to say a word.
Yeah. So you can do a little boop, 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 boop.
Right.
About 10 minutes later, you get another ping. This dragon is moving the opposite direction from the first one you detected. And so, using that method you just set up, you both come to a stop. And again, it seems to be sort of flying across the direction you're headed. This time it seems like you're able to pick it up longer, but eventually it disappears again.
Okay.
You're muted.
Yeah, so they're basically just patrolling their areas, it seems like, right? Like just back and forth, strafing, and I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood.
No, that's what it does seem like. I'm just surprised that they're this close together.
It is really weird.
Do you want to reach out?
Oh, wait. What if somehow this is part of Jagravanan's security?
Yeah, they're patrolling.
Like they're working for the Jagravanans.
Like every so often they have dragons to, like a tunnel. No? Yeah.
How could they get dragons to do that for them?
I don't know.
Or it could just be the dragons are patrolling for themselves.
Or the dragons are in charge.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
That's not an
It's not
unheard
completely.
of option.
Well, we were
Right.
really concerned at one point, right? Because the dragons and orcs have teamed up, that if the dragons and Jagravanans teamed up, that it would be
Real bad.
real bad.
Ooh.
And given that the metallic have thrown their lot in with us to some extent, the human, Irma, and
Right.
maybe they saw it as a way to get everybody back. Maybe it's time to let Mother Tassa know this part.
Also, I can't think of her name, but
There you go.
what?
Gago?
No. Jodo's beloved.
Oh, Fiesta?
Yes.
Yasa. There we go.
Eh,
No, we need to tell her too. She was the one who thought of this in the first frickin' place. Don't you remember?
No.
She was the one who was worried about this. Wasn't she worried about this? About
so.
the Jagravanans teaming up with the dragons?
I think we were all.
We were.
Okay. Well, I think we should tell her anyway. Okay.
I think until we know more.
Sure.
So
Right
you
now,
want
it
me
seems more dragony.
Do you want me to get on the horn with Gago and
Just Tassa,
Mother
I think.
Tassa? Well, Gago may know more. Can the dragons tell where we are? The only reason Mother Tassa can is because she...
Connected to you.
Oh.
Well, she knows how to gate into your mansion.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Hasn't she come before?
no.
Oh, we have told her where
Yes.
we are.
Yes, that's
Hmm.
different.
I think we should start with Mother Tassa, and then
Okay.
since she's the
I think
leader.
am I the one who has the Gago stuff?
You are. Because you can do the smaller spell with that. So I'm also going to let you... Oh, no. I have the through Mother Tassa. I'm going to talk to Mother Tassa. What time is it? It's nighttime.
Yeah, it's probably close to 11 p.m. now.
Do we know, do dragons sleep?
They sleep a lot, right? Or is that just,
Is that just me? No, I'm kidding.
is that just Tolkien dragons and Smog just always asleep? Everything I know about dragons I learned from Lord of the Rings.
Right, exactly. Well, so I'm going to say hello. I hope you're not sleeping. Are you pooping?
I
We
was
have some-
pooping.
Right, hilarious. Freaking hilarious. Still a great line / episode. So we are in the desert southwest, and there are dragons. We've already... Hey, thanks, by the way, for having faith in us, because we killed that dragon. I know we were going to tell you we did, and we did. And then we also took out some Jagravanans that were like kind of beating our ass. But I'm really glad that you said you had faith in us, because I think now we have faith in... No, I have faith in us also. But there are multiple dragons, potentially red, and we feel like they are patrolling an area, and wondered if that is normal. Okay, patrolling an area of like a strip, and then there are multiple dragons. We cannot feel like how they are, like how many, but we got a sense that the other one that we had seen was doing the same thing, kind of like just an area, but near each other. Is that a thing that the chromatics do?
First of all, well done with the blue. What was the disposition of its horde?
Oh, that's where the Jagravanen were, and then we killed them. I don't know how they got there. I don't know how they found the horde. It was in a cave type thing. Remind me, it was in a
Cavern.
Type thing. It was in a cavern type thing, and we were able to, thankfully, because of what you said with the how he feels. God dang it! I said I heard you only had a small horde, and then he looked in the direction of his horde, and then we went and kind of found it.
No.
But the
Very clever.
Yeah. So.
And the horde is now in your possession.
The horde is in our possession. Oh, hey!
Excellent.
Super quick while we have you here. Remind us later to get ideas for baby gifts for Gago. Because I want to get like a really big rattle of like bad blue dragon. Okay, anyhow, back to the thing.
You sense that she's speechless.
She did know, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember who Gago said that, like, not very many people knew. I don't know if they knew.
Uh-oh.
Oh, if she didn't know, then I wouldn't have said.
Does she not know? Oh my gosh.
No, if she didn't know, I wouldn't have said.
So, I understand that your intentions are the best. But dragons, I do not believe, have a baby shower.
So she's just speechless about the idea. Not...
Okay. Phew.
I mean, we could start. We could start it.
The mithril set does.
We can discuss this perhaps later.
Maybe it needs a horde.
Yeah.
Do you recall with the blue that you encountered?
Yes.
Was it flying in a straight line or was it flying in a more circular pattern?
I will roll because Nikki does not remember.
Tasha would remember.
I will ask Tasha.
What does
We
Tasha
didn't
remember?
We didn't see the dragon until it was down, right?
No, Gwen saw it in the air.
Right,
So
but we
ask
weren't
Gwen.
with them.
I will ask Gwen then.
No, okay.
Okay.
Well, then
I will.
Gwen needs to roll history.
Right. 17.
Yeah, it was kind of flying around.
Mm-hmm. In a circle.
Yeah. In a vaguely
tell her-
circular pattern. That is traditional chromatic guarding one's territory behavior. But a straight line?
Yes. So we were wondering if maybe the Jagravanen were using them as security. You know, the walk up being patrolled by multiple dragons. I mean, that would definitely stop someone coming in.
Indeed. But if they are actually powerful enough to compel the chromatics, they pose a much greater threat than even you suspected.
Yeah, that is our worry. I mean, we did worry that the if the Jagravanans and the dragons banded together, that it would be bad. Yes, Arabelle, you're muted.
Well, yeah, I was just waiting to my turn. But the evil equivalent of Torora worked with the dragons to cause the whole shattering, right? And that's what took out the metallic. So it wouldn't necessarily be that the Jagravanans are that powerful. They might be doing it because they're in league with that evil god still.
And I'll say that to Mother Tassa.
You're muted.
What's the opposite of Torora?
The evil list, the head of the
Ex-god.
evil guy.
The Zuthos.
Zuthos.
Right. He is the only god that, when what we
Survived
found
the
out, he
shattering.
survived the shattering because
Yeah.
he had a different name pre-shattering, but he like engineered everything.
I'm going to tell Mother Tassa that.
And he worked with the chromatics back then to trap the metallics.
That would make more sense and is a bit less threatening that they have an arrangement rather than these Jagravanans having found a way to compel service from arguably very powerful dragons.
It's like maybe the Jagravanans are compelled by the dragons.
I would consider that more likely.
Okay, say again. Say again, I'm sorry.
That maybe the Jagravanans are compelled by the dragons.
Well, but that wouldn't make sense. Well, I guess if it went Zuthos to the dragons to the Jagravanans, but what is Zuthos protecting? Just the Jagravanans doing his bidding?
He wants everything, right? He's evil.
What do gods ever want?
All the things.
Well, depends on the god.
What do
He
all?
engineered the downfall of the gods once before. I would imagine he wouldn't stop there now that they've regained power.
That is a good way to put it. Sorry, Mother Tassa. We're having a discussion and I kind of fill her in as we talk about it. But what, I don't want to say what should we do, but so it is unusual mannerisms.
As far as I remember, yes, but I must again warn you that all of these recollections are more than a century old. They
Right.
may have altered their behavior in that time.
Things change.
Let me ask you another thing. We are stopped and safe for now. And then I look at Arabelle and I ask her if it's getting closer to us or if it's still just...
Right now, there's no dragon in range.
Okay,
Now
okay.
they've left our area.
Okay. So the dragons that were fighting that Erma came and tried to remove, right? The dragons on the eastern coast, right?
Oh yeah, they went after
Yeah.
basically the floating island.
Right. Does she know more about that? Because we haven't really talked to Tasha's boss for information on that. Like, have they ceased or decreased in numbers? Or because I kind of want to know, like, the temperature of that situation, versus... Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
Lord Bonefane was kind enough to send us a briefing. It was a decisive victory for the Aecathan army, but not without its losses. However, the island was sunk. They estimate 3/4 of the orcs were killed,
Wow.
and several dragons would not be returning to their homeland. The rest flew off back toward where we believe they come from. So it was a victory for your kind.
And for yours.
Well,
And for yours, I say, but
but if they respond as they have historically, they will be back with a larger force.
do you think they will do you think they will come from the sea? Okay, so they had the floating island so that they could come from Taksun to the island to closer to us, right?
They are not from Thathtoksun.
Okay, right.
Their lair is somewhere far across the ocean, to the southeast of your Ermos city.
Okay. Oh no, I think I know that, but now that far across the ocean. Now she knows that we recycled some of the orcs because she was talking about them being a tasty snack. But she does know that we made them neutral.
You told her about removing both the Thwilnu's enchantment and the Chromatics enchantment.
Yes.
Right, okay.
It's a lot of enchantment.
Yeah.
I guess we just wanted to check to see if that was normal behavior and let you know that there were multiple down here.
I wish I was surprised.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything? I mean, we did get a lot of scales from that. Anyhow, anybody else have anything? No? Okay. Do you have anything for us? I know we just talked the other day, but...
I will alert the council that the Mithril Sept has increased its horde. This will come as good news.
I was going to say, was that something we need to tell you all the time?
Well...
I mean, this is our only big horde.
I mean, if we have to fight that many dragons, I think we're going to increase our horde some or perish.
Gosh, I hope so, yeah.
Oh, my battery's running low. Uh-oh. I thought it was plugged in.
Yeah. All right. Well, yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, I guess. I hope you have a good day.
You're
when
welcome.
When do you sleep? So I can try to know not to interrupt you.
When I get tired.
Okay.
I can go several weeks without sleep at this point in my life. But I can also sleep for months if I choose to. But there are many things moving at the moment. It behooves me to remain awake.
Right. And then I had told her, I had told her about the way I was feeling. Her and I had discussed the... Yeah, okay. All right. I believe that is it. Thank you so much. And we will do our best. We'll let you know if we take another one down.
I look forward to it.
What amount of area would you suspect that they would leave each other alone? Like, do you know what I'm asking? Like, how far would they encroach on each other?
It all depends on if their sept leaders have instructed them to put aside their traditional animosity.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, gosh. Thank you.
Be well.
You too. Bye. And I tell everybody, I fill everybody in on what she basically said.
Sounds positive.
Yeah. So we kind of don't know if it's a sept that is giving them instructions. Like if their sept leader said that they're not to, go within each other's things, or they're supposed to leave each other alone, or if it's the Jagravanans, or if it is those. Not that it necessarily is, but like those are kind of the idea that I'm getting. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So did she have any recommendations about how we should proceed, I guess?
Did I ask that? Did I say that? I feel like I did, but I can't remember right this second.
She didn't really tell us what to do.
No, but if it were up to her, it would be kill them and then keep killing them.
Yeah,
I imagine. I didn't ask. I could ask, but
I want to fight that, depending on how many that are that close to each other. Like if we were doing one, it would be like go off to the side further where the other one was going. So maybe we could fight them as far apart as possible each other.
Hey, Mother Tassa.
Yes.
Just a question. Would they... Okay, 2 questions. Sorry. When I asked if anybody else had questions, nobody brought these things up, so that's why we have to do it now. Would they call to each other to have them help, and how far is a call range going to be?
They would if they were so instructed.
Mm-hmm.
And it all depends on their particular lung capacity.
Just a low-end estimate.
A few miles.
A few miles, groovy. Okay. And then
we can be very loud if we choose to.
Okay. How do you recommend? Do you have any recommendations? What do we do? Just kill, or
You will have to
thoughts?
make that decision on your own.
I figured as much, but
You have a good estimate of your capabilities. If you find yourself in a situation where violence is unavoidable, then fight as hard as you can and use every weapon at your disposal. But remember, there may be times when stealth, or even retreating and finding a different way, might be more advisable. Only you can make that decision.
I thought you were gonna say stealth or reasoning, but I'm guessing there's no reasoning with them.
There is not.
I didn't.
You
think so, but I
could
figured I'd
certainly make the attempt, and many have tried and believed that they have succeeded, only to become food.
ask.
Okay.
Okay.
Their word cannot be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I assumed as much, but I'm so grateful for you. You're such a good resource, and I know we bother you all the time, but we're very grateful.
You are not my most frequent interruption. So do not feel bad.
Wow. Okay. Do we know them?
You've met a couple of them, yes.
I just giggle. All right. Well, thank you. I'm surprised. That weird. Okay. I'm surprised. Anyhow, thank you. And I get off and I tell them that we're not the only ones.
Well, she is a valuable resource. People would be foolish not to use her.
And she counsels other seps, and that's what we're asking for, and we're a baby sept.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And am I right to assume that dragon baby showers are not a thing?
No, I would have told you guys that.
Okay.
They haven't been, that doesn't mean they can't be.
That is also what I said.
Nope.
You know, we learn a lot from the dragons. Perhaps it's time they learn something from our sept.
Right.
Does it have to be that, though?
What else do we have to give them? I mean, they're pretty.
I'm sure we can think of something.
Why not this?
I'm thinking of like all of the blue, what I'm just like, oh, we have like some things. We could give them something, just a little something, start to hoard out. I know.
I mean, I think giving a gift is fine, but we don't have to call it a baby shower.
Right. They gave us a gift to start our horde. It's not any different to start the baby's horde.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're a
Arabelle,
baby sept. It was kind of like yes, please let us know when things come across your...
You sense a dragon.
Uh-oh.
About the same distance.
Mm-hmm. Moving the opposite direction.
It's coming back through. So I wonder if it's been the same one.
Can we use the spyglass to see it?
You could certainly try.
And additionally, can Tasha tell us the timing?
Ooh, can I?
She would know.
It has been 17 and a half minutes since the last dragon disappeared from Arabelle's perception.
Ooh.
What about the timing between the previous ones?
About 18 minutes.
So pretty close.
What do I need to roll for the spyglass? Is it still perception?
It is. And you've still got her shield, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. 26.
That's good.
It's a big red dragon.
Okay.
The coloring, though, you've dealt with a red dragon before. So generally it's just kind of a full red color. This is a dark red color.
It's shiny like a ruby?
No.
Okay. It's definitely chromatic.
Yeah.
Does it mean that it's older?
You don't know.
I tell this to the group and then say, perhaps the next time we talk to Mother Tassa, we should ask if darker colors mean older dragons.
When she's not asleep, I could ask her right now.
Well, there you
We
go.
could text.
Go for it.
Then she can get back to us when she's done.
Right.
Yeah, one more thing.
Hey!
You could ask Aego instead, so we couldn't bother
And
a
one
different
more
dragon.
thing.
And one more thing. No more things!
All right.
And then... No more and thens.
Do you want me to send a message to Gago?
No. We're just going to Mother Tassa this.
Okay.
Hey, so sorry, again. We just noticed the coloring upon it. The last one that kind of went into our purview was crimson.
Well, no, this is the color of a red dragon from when it attacked Sandy Cove.
And that was more like stop sign red?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so this is the same Crimson Dragon?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I did not get that. I'm sorry.
Well, it's the same color as the glint that Gwen originally saw.
Okay, I need to look up color.
God, I hope there's only one red dragon.
Is it more maroon than?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
It's
like fire engine.
It's closer to like a blood red.
Okay, that is AA0022 on the Crimson color palette. Just a second, checking.
Hex
okay.
codes for the win.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. The dragon that attacked Sandy Cove was more of a traditional red, like, and I will bring up some banner of one of the towns that's closest to color. Okay?
Okay.
And then I will say this is more the color of blood, traditional human blood.
Or rubies, like a dark ruby.
Garnet?
A garnet. Yeah, I think what I will look up.
Garnets are like a dark red.
Yes, garnet. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you. I like garnet.
Ruby is typically brighter, more vibrant red, but red garnet also tends to vary from purple red to a deeper, darker red. Good job. Okay.
And so your question is...
Does that mean they are older or bigger or just multicolored in general?
Traditionally, our colors deepen as we age.
Oh.
Colors deepen.
If you are seeing a red dragon whose color is that dark, they are hundreds of years old.
Ooh. That's bad.
Nikki wants to know whether, hold that thought, like Mother Tossa, like I'm not interrupting that conversation, like time stop here. Do we, does Nikki, know what the dragon chromatics were doing, where they were at while the metallics were sleeping? Were they all...
You have no idea.
In the
They
histories...
They attacked during the Dragon Orc War.
Yes, that's what I was asking. And then, like, after that...
They were driven off the continent.
Okay.
And that was why it was such a surprise when the dragon attacks started up again.
And it only started on the East Coast and then they would have come in? Or it hasn't really... Okay.
Yes.
Driven
the
off
first
the
reports
continent.
were along the eastern coast of central Aecathan.
East Coast start. I tell everybody, traditionally colors deepen its age. This is hundreds of years old. Are they easily swayed versus younger ones?
Oh no, quite the contrary.
So potentially they have been associated with Zuthos for a while and not necessarily Jagavanans.
Perhaps. As I say, my knowledge of their politics is over a century old.
Right. Thank you, dear, again. I'm so sorry.
Oh boy.
Thank you. And I got contact. So...
And during this
us?
conversation, the dragon has crossed your perception and disappeared from it again.
Has it been another 18 minutes?
Well, it took it about 2.5 minutes.
To make it all the way across. Gotcha.
And then it disappeared again.
Okay. And I'm probably almost out of my hour.
Yes.
Here's a concern. If the dragon is that old, I don't know how well my pass without trace will
Keep us
do
safe.
going up against the perception of an ancient dragon. I can put it up again. It's better than nothing, I guess. But
I mean,
Um,
I think the question is, do we want to try to fight an ancient red dragon?
I'm gonna go with no.
I think not without help. Like, we'd need a healer for sure. Like, if we could get Bow and Vines here, I would feel better about it. But
Okay.
and that's not a we can't handle our shit. That's it. This is a big piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're absolutely right.
we have to know our limits.
All right.
I think that we have done enough.
Reconnaissance for a minute
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and need to
And-
regroup.
I think we might want to maybe teleport back to the city.
How
Which city?
many
Thunder's Edge?
days?
Yeah.
Probably. How many days / hours are we out from Thunder's Edge?
This
Tasha would
is
know, but-
this is night 4,
Okay. But
and you've traveled
approximately-
all night.
I mean, we
So-
could drop the mansion here.
You're
Yeah.
probably, I would guess, 100 miles out. Figure you can do about 25 miles a night.
Do we have an idea of how far our destination may be? No idea at all.
No ideas,
No.
right? Oh, who was the dragon? She just knew that there were multiples within 6 miles.
Yes.
Right.
Like
So-
6?
Well,
Well, technically, primeval awareness doesn't tell you the number. She just knows
Oh.
there's several.
And if they're all ancient? Ugh.
Oh,
And
we
if
don't
they're-
know, but
yeah, and if they're doing, 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile stretches in between their, patrolling areas,
That's a lot of patrolling.
if we were detected, how fast could you teleport us out of here?
okay, so we need to be within a certain, we need to be within that 30 feet, I believe. Let me make absolutely sure.
Well,
Zorith
we're
would
staying
know.
within 30 feet anyway.
No, I know, but Zorith would know, but Nikki needs to look. 8 willing creatures of my choice. See within range.
So if you can see them.
Well, but it says
Oh, range area. Well, let's hold on.
because it says range area 10 feet. So that's weird. So I would have teleported us out previously in the cave with the Jagavanans because I thought they had to be 30 feet. Or is that teleportation circle? No, that's not teleportation
It's
circle.
10, right? Because you had to move closer to us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You do 10.
And I had moved out of range
Okay.
unknowingly.
Okay. Okay.
So if you were both airborne and flying side by side, just sort of slightly offset like this,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be within range.
Okay.
Okay. So then I explain to them how
And
close
we
we would
will-
need to be.
Maneuver into position.
And then it would be instantaneous as long as I have the ability to cast a spell. It is verbal, but I do also have
Components.
I have the feature to.
Silence. Oh,
I thought I did. Subtle spell? Subtle spell. 1 sorcery point to cast without any somatic or verbal components. So
Yeah.
I do have that.
So if she uses a
ability.
sorcery point, she can basically just think it.
And
and
we
Okay.
it
go.
goes off.
Would it leave the owl and Starbolt behind?
No,
No,
Okay.
because I could take up to 8, right? And those would be considered creatures.
one each. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know because they were big. If it was
Right. Oh, that's a good point. Because it does say,
is it medium or large?
no, it says within a 10-foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you select an object,
Right.
it must be able to fit entirely inside a 10-foot cube.
Right.
And it can't be
And
held
the
or carried by
only
an
the
unwanted
only
creature.
object is the owl.
Correct.
Starbolt is not considered an object.
Correct. Okay. So, okay.
So
And also, my concentration is decent. So if we were being attacked, I could be better at. I mean, like it wouldn't. I mean, we don't want to be attacked, but
Right.
under duress, I would do my best.
Well, it's a one action, so there's no concentration involved.
Oh, okay. Concentration is more than it takes longer than it's like
Yeah.
a couple.
I
Okay,
mean, it
good.
could be counterspelled.
Okay. And then would I just quicken and do it again?
Yep.
Okay.
but
Okay.
if you're using the subtle spell, they'd have to notice what you're doing, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, using subtle spell, it would be very difficult to counterspell because there's no visible suggestion of
Mhm.
what the spell is.
Have to guess.
Yeah.
Subtle spell with teleport makes difficult to. Okay. Can dragons counterspell?
You
Does
don't
it depend
know.
on their? Okay.
I bet they can.
Do
I don't know.
dragons aren't a class. They have special abilities because they're dragons and different because of the kind of dragon.
Mhm.
Correct? Okay. That's something I would learn in school. But I was just thinking, I was like, do they have clerical dragons? No, Nicole, they do not.
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, just, the idea that each one can do their own separate things is like, yeah, okay. Anyhow, silly me.
Okay. This will be fun. Or,
Oh.
Zorith? Make an Arcana check for me.
Roll high, roll high.
14 plus 8, 22.
Something just clicked in your head.
Okay.
Mother Tassa went through over 100 years of believing that she was an elf,
Right?
and she became a wizard.
Right, she can cast Gate.
So perhaps
Hmm.
if they are spending enormous amounts of time shifted into their smaller bipedal form, they could conceivably follow a career path just like a normal human or elf.
Hmm.
Because Mother Tassa did.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very accomplished wizard.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is. Would do Arcana or history or whatever. Do the dragons have disdain for their bipedals, and they would stay dragons as much as they could?
You don't know.
Okay. Even from, because nobody's really interviewing dragons except us and Mother Tassa.
Right.
And she wouldn't necessarily know because chromatics, regular dragons.
Yeah.
And metallics.
The behavior of the chromatic septs is
Different
radically
than the metallics.
different.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
So I kind of break that down for everybody. I'm gonna tell Gwen when she gets back here in just a hot second. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay. As soon as Gwen get back on, which I know she will. So.
So, did you decide that you're going to land and put up the mansion? I heard that mentioned, but I don't know if that was...
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I think we need to regroup and figure out what's next.
Okay, Gwen.
Yes.
One of the things I just clicked in my brain was, I don't know if you had heard me say, do they have different classes? And what clicked in my brain was the fact that Mother Tassa was an elf forever because she believed she was an elf.
Right.
And she became a very accomplished wizard from her bipedal form. So potentially these dragons could also have classes that they use for.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, she does not do wizardry things within her dragon form, correct?
Correct.
She just does them. Okay, so her bipedal form. But just as a reminder to everybody that it could potentially be a thing.
Yep.
Shoot. So do we want to regroup in the mansion? What will that do for us?
I think it's to decide. It's safer to do it in there. We don't have our pass without a trace. I can't sense them anymore right now.
Oh, yeah, you can.
And figure out, are we going to try to take on this dragon? And if so, do we need to recruit help? Or are we going to try to go around them? But we don't know where the other ones are, so.
Right. Well, if we went 9 minutes that way, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, if it's an 18-minute
Cycle.
patrol. Yeah, if it's an 18-minute patrol, in-game math, where Nicole doesn't have to math, but in-game math, approximation of distance and time, could we theoretically go 20 minutes that way and be out of that particular strip, and then if we find another strip more south or whatever that direction is, and then come back. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
You want to Frogger it.
yes, that's what I was thinking.
Gotcha.
Is that a
Arabelle,
viable option?
Yes.
would you make a survival check for me? I've been sitting here trying to figure out which one of you would be most likely to think of
Fail
this.
it? No.
I have a plus 12 and a
plus 12?
12.
Wow.
Yeah, 12. 12 in survival.
So I guess I'm sorry, Tassa. Go ahead and cast the mansion since that's what
Okay,
we've been talking about.
I cast the mansion.
Okay. So you're landing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before we land, we're gonna check the ground. We're gonna have
Okay.
Gwen
22.
check the ground.
22. Your experience having ridden Starbolt enough through the air, you also realize that there's something you haven't considered, and that's going over.
Like if we went up higher.
Going over the dragons?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go up as high as is safe and fly over.
All right.
Oh, so theoretically, if they are just patrolling at, what are we, 30, and it was even with us?
No, it was up above you.
So like 50, 60 approximate
Maybe.
degree angle of things?
But we can go up pretty high. It's much with the owl and Starbolt. We're better than on the carpet.
Obviously,
Yeah, that's true.
Could go over.
And I'll cast all the things I have.
Oh, if we decide to do that?
And because we have this question
Well-
every game, can you make us invisible?
You know what?
Um,
I need to, we need to, write that as a major thing.
Okay, so I haven't cast the mansion.
Correct.
We haven't landed. So we're gonna switch tactics.
Right.
Okay.
And
Did
I
we just
have.
decide this?
We-
To go
We're-
over? Okay.
We're thinking about it.
Okay, can Gwen make us invisible? I put it in the front of the book.
I have greater invisibility,
Greater.
but it
But it-
only lasts up to a minute.
Oh, 1 minute.
And is
And
it
how
only on you?
It's me or a creature I touch.
Okay.
Not enough for all of us.
Mm-mm.
No. And
And
it's
then
a
what about-
concentration spell, so I can't cast
Do
it
anything
on
else.
multiple people.
And then what about
Right.
regular invisibility?
Regular invisibility, let's see.
That lasts for an hour.
It does.
But I think it's just.
And it's a creature I touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. And anything the target is wearing or carrying becomes invisible as long as it's on the target's person.
So can she cast that on Starbolt and they're invisible because they're on Starbolt?
Technically, yes.
And when I use a higher level, I can target one additional creature for each spell slot above second.
So you can cast it on Starbolt and the owl.
So I could cast it at 5th level, and that would get 3, right?
Well, but you only need 2.
Because we'd be on the owl and you'd
Because
be on
it
Starbolt.
says anything that it's carrying,
Okay.
At time
I would
of
constitute...
spell.
I would consider riding to be carrying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone is riding that creature is carrying them.
All right.
So you just have to cast it on the owl and the Pegasus, and we're all invisible.
Okay.
Writing is covered. Okay. The thing about greater, even if you are casting a spell, because invisible wears off once you cast a spell.
Or
correct?
attack. Once you do anything aggressive.
But we don't want to do any of that. We just want to.
No, I just for the front of the book.
Oh, yeah.
Regular invisibility, hurt or creature, with target.
I guess I just have greater.
Once make attack spell. Or is it casting any spell? I thought it
No,
was casting.
it's
Once
it's
make attack
you have
spell,
to initiate an attack.
an
That
attack
breaks the
spell.
invisibility.
It breaks. Okay, and then the greater does not break.
Correct.
Okay.
But it only lasts for a minute.
Well,
But
right.
that's
you
10
could-
rounds in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you could
that's true.
get it. Does not break with attack. Okay. This is Gwen, and okay, Tasha
Mm-hmm.
has greater.
Mm-hmm.
I think the loot has regular. That's why it's not
Yeah.
showing up because you unattuned.
Loot regular. I can see invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have that. Too.
Anybody else see invisibility?
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
Here's my question though about invisibility. Pass without trace masks us from detection. It is a spell of the same level. And
Right.
it also covers sound as well as sight. So would it be better
I think so.
than
Well,
invisibility?
It's different because Pass Without Trace is a complement to the idea of sneaking, of stealth.
Right.
So doing invisibility and pass without trace would mean that it's less likely anything could hear you.
Oh, but
But I
It's
can
pass
only
without
do
trace concentration.
yes, I can
So-
only do one.
Right.
and also there is more to us than hearing and seeing to a dragon. They can smell us.
Well, but pass
That's-
without trace says it masks you from detection.
Yeah, so it would work against any perception check.
Because it says you can't be tracked except by magical means.
So that might be better than invisibility then.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean, if we
as I say, it's different. Because pass without trace gives you a plus 10 bonus to your stealth check. But
Right.
if their perception is higher than your stealth check, they're still going to see you. Or smell you, or hear you, or whatever.
But what's that with invisibility? This is the same for smell and everything else.
Yes.
No, I mean, wait,
Yes.
invisibility.
Invisibility just means you can't be seen. You can still be
Right.
heard, you can still be smelled.
Right. So the pass without a trace would give us plus 10 to everything, whereas perception's only going to hide sight.
Invisibility,
Right.
right.
But
So
invisibility will hide you unless they have the means to detect invisibility.
and our hope is to be far enough away, so it shouldn't hear or smell us. It would be seeing us.
Well, we would want to be downwind, right? So that
for just invisibility.
if we went with just invisibility, we would want to be downwind so that it reduces the chance of it smelling us.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
silence will be an issue. I mean, I assume that Starbolt's wings make a sound.
They do.
I
So do
mean-
the owls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, owls fly nearly silently.
Right. It's much softer. But there is still sound.
But I doubt that's true of Starbolt.
Yeah.
So,
And
I mean, ideally, we'd do both.
well, the issue is that if Gwen's the only one that could cast invisibility, that won't work. Because you need two things to be invisible at the same time. And it's concentration, so she can only cast it once.
Well, invisibility, she's fine because she can cast it at a higher level to get two things.
Well,
she
that's
just
true.
can't do pass without a trace at the same time.
Right. So, does anybody else have the ability to cast invisibility?
No, babe, I think it's just you.
Yeah, even if Tasha had the lute attuned, she could only do it once. Or at the spell of the lute, she can't.
Yeah.
it higher.
I can't do it for like a group.
Something like that on Tasha's lute. Let me look. It is you have to attune to it to use the lute's things, right? The lute just doesn't.
Right. I have to have it attuned. So
How long does it take to put a spell in the ring of spell storing?
You just have to
Yeah.
cast it into it.
I think so. So,
But if it's not attuned, then it's.
Right, but Nikki, Zori, don't you have a ring of spell storing attuned?
I do, as do you.
Yes. So if I ditch the spell in there, can I put another one in there?
I believe. Hold please. I believe. Okay. Let me look. I just had it up. Sorry. Let me get to the spell storing thing. Okay. They can cast ring into it. Okay, stored in the ring. The ring can't hold it. It's expended. Level slot while wearing. You can cast any spell in it. Okay. So, while wearing this ring, you can cast any spell stored in it. The spell uses a slot level, blah, 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 but otherwise treated as if you cast a spell. The spell cast from the ring is no longer stored in it, freeing up space. But it doesn't say that you can... So would she actually have to expend the spell to replace it? No.
Well, the issue is
do
she'd still have to concentrate on it.
Right. But if Zori cast it from her ring, then I wouldn't have to concentrate. She could.
That's true.
Oh, super smart. I see what you're saying.
So I just need, or I can take my ring off and give it to someone else to wear the ring, and they would then cast it.
Oh, that is pretty smart. How big of a spell is invisibility?
Second level.
Second
well,
level.
And she'd be casting it at third.
I would cast it at third.
But that's fine.
If it's cast from the magic item, then you don't need concentration on it, right? Because it's like if it's a wand spell or something.
Well, it says that it acts as if the wearer had cast the spell.
Oh, okay.
So theoretically, now that's also, you could put invisibility in there. How big is greater invisibility?
We're not doing greater.
How big is greater invisibility?
The lowest level I can cast it at is, I think, third. Hold on. Let me check.
Okay.
Nope. Fourth.
Okay. So you could do the, you could put it in at third level. Then you would also have the ability to do 2 ones or a second level also in that ring. So I'm just saying, so you're not wasting the slots with that. So because you got 5 and that's a 3, so you could do either 2 ones or a 2, just to let you know as well.
Do they all cast at the same time, or can you do one at a time?
You can do one at a time. You call them out of the ring as you need them.
Right. Just keep that in mind. So if there's like 2 ones that might be helpful or whatever, or a 2 that you could use in a fighting situation. But that is a very good idea.
Why, thank you. So who wants the ring?
I don't have any. We'd have to stay here for an hour to attune to it.
Yeah.
We were talking about. Oh.
Yeah, the only way that this doesn't require an hour is if Zori dumps the spell in her ring.
Correct.
Right.
But yours is a big spell, right?
Oh,
mine
actually, no. She'd still have to attune to it.
Yeah, no, it would be an hour. Teleportation circle.
I think we just do.
If you're going to have to attune it anyway, dump
we
my
should just
spell.
do pass without a trace because it's dark. So the chances of it seeing us in the middle of the night. I mean,
it's
then
a dragon.
Didn't the blue one see us?
Yep.
Yeah, but you were much closer.
I mean, we're talking about being far away.
Yeah. I mean, you could literally go a mile up.
How far up was that rock when they saw it?
Higher than either of the dragons. The rocks like to ride the high air.
And that was in a completely different place than we are now.
Correct. That's several days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you thinking?
Probably somewhere between 50 and 75 miles away from where that rock was.
I was just checking, how high we go. Like, if the rocks are higher than the dragons, then we want to go higher than a rock, kind of thing.
I mean, because it's got to have at most 120 feet of dark vision, right? I mean, it can't have crazy amount. I mean, it doesn't have a mile of dark vision. You know what I mean? Nothing does. So I think we should just do pass without a trace and just
Fly high.
fly up high and just go over it.
Okay.
Worst case, Zori teleports us out.
Oh yeah, good point.
Okay.
All right. In the meantime, though,
Mm.
just for future notice, I'm going to pull off my ring and hand it to Arabelle.
Well,
Okay.
And so you can start attuning it.
Well,
and then
have
if we
I
or does
can't.
this
you need to put the spells in it before you give it to her.
And
Okay.
also, we have to make sure that that person has
Oh.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
And you
if we got
don't
into a
attune.
fight, no, if we got into a fight, it would, like, for me to unattune something would not be worth it.
Okay.
I would put it in your own ring, and if pass without a trace fails, then make us invisible.
Okay.
I
mean, I can make-
They'll know we're around, but they won't know exactly where we are.
Right, and we can just kind of hover.
Or
Well,
fly high.
Zori
or
teleports us out or whatever, but
Mhm.
Okay.
if they spot us, then you can let pass without a trace drop, and you've already got invisibility queued up. I mean, or you could cast it; it doesn't matter. But
Right. Okay.
so-
Then I will dump the Speaks with Animals spell.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I will put in it invisibility at level 3 and invisibility at level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the wolf?
Back
we
with his
left it
grandfather.
behind.
Okay.
at the Oasis.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Hang out with Grandpa.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're gonna be doing grown-up things, and you're just a baby.
Okay. So I've got the ring. I will mark that I cast those spells.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, one at 2nd level.
Mm-hmm.
And I will just mark off a 3rd level. And then when you're ready, let me know and I'll cast Pass Without Trace.
So one of the things I do just as a thing, I go all the way down into other possessions on our inventory, and then I write Ring of Spell Storing, and then I put in there what it is. So like if I forget, you just click and then you can just type in Ring of Spell Storing and then level 3 invisibility, level 2 invisibility. If you
Now-
that's how I keep it safe.
Pass Without Trace, I can cast it at 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th level, but it doesn't indicate what those different levels add.
Well, I think
Then
we-
it probably doesn't add anything. You
We've
can
talked
cast
about
them
it
using
before.
higher levels, but there's no bonus to the spell.
Okay.
So
Then
if
I will
she
just-
uses a spell slot, then she can just go to the next higher spell slot.
Mhm.
I could have sworn we talked about Pass Without Trace being a thing with the larger increments. So
Well,
think about that, and we will go.
we'll check into that another time.
Yep, and I'll put that in the front of the book also, so that we will know from now on.
And as you get ready to put your plan into motion, this is where we're going to stop tonight.
Sorry,
Because we're already over 2 hours.
I asked a lot of questions.
That's okay. But so you have your plan, and we'll put that into effect first thing in the next episode. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us and giving us your attention. We love that. We really do. And we hope you'll come back and join us again next time and let us welcome you back once more to the lands of Aecathan. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.